Welcome to the Retail Tech Podcast, where we talk about the full spectrum of technologies and implementation used in omnichannel and online retail. Make sure to subscribe to our newsletter at retailtechpodcast.com, and we always look forward to your feedback.
The strategy is digital, the technology is there, but still the old channels are still active, and what we are helping the retailer is to optimize what they are doing. So the main difference, if I look on the market on what we do, I will differentiate ourselves between the companies that is doing the next best action, that this is actually totally science and data, but then there is no relation between what the retailer actually has to give, where we are doing that, but also will do the optimization. So if they have only a bank of 500 offers to offer, we will optimize that. If they have only direct mail and an email, we will optimize that.
Okay, so I see that you have several different actually product names like the Summit, the Pinnacle, and the Apex.
Correct.
So the Summit is, can you tell me a little bit about each one?
Yeah, so actually these are again in the, they are the highest peaks of the Everest, so this is where it's coming from. So the Summit is our automated tool. So this is our optimizing engine when you actually pour inside all the data we discussed and is giving you the one-to-one marketing advice. The brain I discussed before. The Pinnacle is actually what we call an ad hoc campaign. So a lot of times marketing is coming with ideas, or our analyst is coming with ideas, like a group of people that is spending a lot of money in the store but don't come a lot. So we will actually create a manual campaign in order to act on it. And if we see that that campaign is working, the Pinnacle is moving to the Summit and it's becoming part of the automation tool. The Apex is the BI portal where we actually do the data monetization, or actually the shopper insight. The rules in Sagarmatha in order to cover all these three products is always, the first thing is to identify. So I want to look on Darius. I want to do some of activity. I want to give you a coupon. I want to send you a content. I want to give you a new recipe. And at the end, we want to measure. So when you talk to Sagarmatha, we are not saying to you, measure me in 18 months. We actually deliver results within 2 to 3 weeks after the first campaign.
Okay, and then so do you also have, for example, a A/B testing or multivariate testing built into that?
Yes, of course. Every campaign that we do, we will have a control and a test group in order to measure the incremental sales and what we call the short-term effect. But we also measure what we call the long-term effect, because the fact that Darius is now feeling that your local grocer is talking to you personally via the channels that you prefer actually increase your loyalty, and you are increasing your wallet share without the responding to the direct promotions or offers or content that you are getting.
Okay, so of course no discussion these days can happen without touching on some of the buzzwords, IoT and AI and bots. So what are your thoughts on do you use any kind of machine learning or AI in your software?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. So the AI, it's already implemented in our machine. So it's a machine learning. So the system is learning based off your reaction and your engagement to what we are doing, like to identify what is your channel of choice, to see what makes you tick and what change your behavior.
And that's the Summit?
Just this is the Summit. It's built in within the Summit, yes.
Okay.
And we are using our own proprietary algorithm, but also the common technology in the market, like the R, the P. You have to talk to my science guy who will explain to you. This is Chinese for me.
Okay.
We also use, when you talk on the Internet of Things, so this is because we are focusing mainly on the grocery and the drugstore arena. So this is relating to us on gathering what we call third-party information about you. So the fact that I will find out and I will buy the data that you are surfing the internet and learning about how to treat, let's say, a gluten-free problem, and in vice versa, I see from your transactions that you are actually doing something because you are starting to buy this product. The machine automatically will learn that probably there is a new member in your household that is gluten sensitive. Or the fact that you are a lifestyle member in one of the, let's say, the flying companies, you are a platinum member, so I can relate to that and see how this is impact on your household and your behavior. But this is a growing stuff. So all of this stuff. So the AI is something that we are doing from the beginning, but the Internet of Things is becoming more and more related to what we are doing. And we are moving from campaign-driven activities to the customer journey activities. And this is becoming more and more active. But remember that we are trying to put our feet on the ground. So it's a good buzzword. It's good to say that we support that, but the distance between what the retailers can have today, you don't really see that they are ready for that. It's becoming more typical in the telecom arena, but in our field, it's still a buzzword. We are relating to that, but I don't see a retailer that is really acting on that.
Okay, yeah, I think the IoT for the most part is going to come into play inside the store. So like with beacons,
Correct.
and measuring the effectiveness of different displays and people moving around in the store. So that's I agree. It's going to take a little bit more time for that to become more prevalent.
But I'm talking about beacons. Before walking to Sagarmatha, I was walking to Retalix that was bought from NCR. And I can tell you that I'm talking about beacons already for the last 7 years. But still, you don't see it in most of the stores because it's very easy to talk about it. It's not so easy to implement that. And we still have, because of our age and the age of the managers, you still have this fear of the big brother. So if we will talk to our children, probably they won't care that there is beacon everywhere and they know everything what they do. But our generation, for sure the generation above us, are still afraid. So it's still sensible, it's still dangerous. It's still, I think, in most of the retailers on a pilot phase. I don't know of a retailer that actually implemented the full Monty of the beacons. Besides, like examples I gave, like Marsh, that is a small retailer in the regional retailer in the US. It's still there, but I don't see it a lot as active. More about the discussion in the marketing department than actually doing that.
Okay. And of course, right now, the latest thing for retailers is to create these bots on the Facebook platform. Facebook just on Messenger has opened up a bot marketplace. What are your thoughts on that? Have you talked to anybody?
Our experience with the social network that it's becoming a very good channel to discuss with the shoppers. There is some limitations because you have to connect your Facebook account, for example, to the retailer Facebook account because otherwise it doesn't work. But if I look on what we discussed before about buying this third-party data and looking on your activities on Facebook, then it will become more and more relevant. I think today it's more used in the Amazon world than the local grocer or the drugstore, but I'm sure it will come to us very fast.
Right. So you mentioned that you're focused, the company is focused mostly on grocery and chains. For example, what was it, like drugstore chains?
Correct. Like, let's say, the Walgreens of the world and the Food Line of the world.
Okay, so what's the what's the biggest challenge that these companies have? Like, I mean, drugstores, food is becoming really a different way for people to shop for food. They have all these new delivery services,
Correct.
and people are not going to the drugstore as much. How do you see this working out in the future?
So it's an interesting question. So if you look on if you talk to the innovative managers in a lot of retailers in the US and in Europe, what they are saying that the brick and mortars actually is becoming a different store. So if in the past you used to go to the store in order to buy everything, so today the store will become more a customer experience. So if you are a grocer, I will probably book everything, the dry stuff on the internet, maybe use the Amazon button, but I will go to the store to taste a new wine, to feel the fresh products like the fruits. I will go to the drugstore to smell the new perfume. So it's all becoming a mix. It's still on discussion. So, for example, the US is not so advanced in e-commerce, so the brick and mortar is still strong. If you go to the UK, when e-commerce is one of the leaders of the world, so the stores are starting to change what kind of service they should give to you. Having said that, Lidl, the everyday low price, that the only thing that they have is about price, and sort assortment is still growing very much in the world. So there is the dream of us technology people, and there is the reality that there is still a financial crisis worldwide. People are still looking on prices, etc., etc. And I think we will find the truth somewhere in the middle. But I don't think brick and mortars will disappear. I think 6 months ago I was participating in an event when they interviewed the CEO of WPP, when he actually said that he's thinking that the personal pricing is coming to the brick and mortars, and I'm saying that via companies like us, it's actually already exists there. But it is a change that you see, and I believe that we will see that the brick and mortars will change and will give you more experience and customer facing than what they are doing today.
Okay, yeah, I think Amazon is definitely pushing the envelope on how the entire retail industry is changing. It's very interesting that one company has so much power. Um,
I
so
agree. I totally agree. They are so big, and this is why the retailers are thinking that if you have the chance to book everything on the net, it's nice. But are you going to, don't you want to taste this new tomato that came from Spain? And this is the only advantage that the brick and mortars will have on the Amazon of the world. To
right,
tell you what will happen, I don't know. They are all talking about it, but because we are involved with big retailers, they are all looking on how to, and this is why we are becoming the buzz in the market, because via companies like us, if I make everything personal, I moving from these nice personal grocers that talking to you very nicely to this cold Amazon button pushing. It will become more challenging for you because you will create some kind of a loyalty.
right. Well, I mean, I'm an Amazon. I'm guilty of being an Amazon Prime member, and I spend a lot of money with them. But I think for me as a consumer, the difference is what works for me. If I know what I'm looking
Exactly.
for, and I can just go on Amazon and boom, order it, it's great. But if I want to experience something, I can't
Exactly.
find that on Amazon. I have to go somewhere
Exactly.
else. And for me, it's a mix. Sometimes I want this, sometimes I want the other one.
Our assumption in this market is that there is nobody that is choosing only one. So even my wife that is a fan of the e-commerce, so she book everything on e-commerce, but then when there is something missing in the house, you go to the local grocers that is open 24/7, even that is more expensive. And then when you want to buy something tasteful, you go to this, let's say the Wegmans part of the stores. So there is a place to everyone, and the game is about the wallet share.
Right.
The grocers that will able to keep their wallet share even with this changing, they're the one who will survive. And the second thing do you see is the mergers of the small ones, like the Ahold Delhaize merge. And I think you will find at the end that probably there will be a cooperation between Amazon and Walmart, for example, and then everybody are dead. But this is part of the game.
The Game of Thrones, it sounds like to me.
Exactly, I totally agree with you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Khan. Chen, sorry.
Exactly,
Okay.
thank you.
I think this was a very interesting conversation. I will look forward to getting more updates and seeing what other innovative things are coming from Sagarmatha.
Very good. We will update you as soon as we have it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.